What's up, LC heads? Today we are working on the Divine Dark team, right? And this has been pretty cool because this has finally given me a chance to play with one of my favorite Android characters. You see him in the party. We are talking about 9S, Nines as they like to call them out on the street. So yeah, we'll talk about why this party is put together the way that it is. Because I'm sure a lot of people would look at this and be like, I would have went with somebody else. So first and foremost, we're building around Shift Thouzer's charisma. Because that shit is just wild, son. Thouzer's charisma bonus is insane. And it scales up for him based on how many other heroes there are in the party that have a dark attribute ability. So their S1, S2, S3, or S4 has to do dark damage. And if it does, they count. And he scales up. His charisma just goes through the roof. I don't know if all the extra bonuses to his charisma are just for him. Even if they are, that's a hell of a lot of bonus, and he becomes a powerhouse really quickly. I really like how this character is set up. The whole, I'm going to double my strength in the next 20 seconds, or whatever the hell it is. Like, real talk. That's just about enough time for you to go over to your support heroes, drop whatever supports, walls, any breaks. It's just enough time for you to go over and do all of that, right? And then by the time everybody's buffed, everybody's apple pied, or, whatever you're trying to do, this dude's strength has damn near doubled just because of his trait. So that's really cool. You do want to give him some protection against magic, but aside from that, this guy's attack just becomes super freakishly strong very quickly. We're going to be using his charisma. So the next hero that I put into the party, it wasn't actually Nines. Of course, for the dark party, we're going to have to go with Lilu. Even if I am saying his Liloach. Even if I am saying his name terribly wrong, this guy's a freaking monster. It's just... he's like an auto-include in any dark party, in my opinion. IMO. I also think that the third slot in this party is going to depend on how you build Lilu and what you want Lilu to do for you in the party. For me, he's here for that time stop shenanigan. That shit is so dope. It is so crazy. He will single-handedly carry you through tower. He'll carry you through all sorts of fights where the enemy is like, okay, we're going to cheat now. We're going to cheat. Here, I cast Thunderbolt 20 times and your whole party is pinned to a wall, right? Like every 20 seconds, you guys get to do one attack on me. And it better be a fast-acting skill because I'm going to interrupt it type shit. Well, when that comes up, Lilu's like, hold my beer. Freeze time, and here, I'll just finish you off. So, just how much easier this guy makes some of the higher levels in tower is just absurd. So why wouldn't you have that capability in the party? So that's what mine is here for. Now, I could see somebody maybe putting a little more support in this guy's kit and be like, okay, you're gonna kind of be a quasi healer. You're gonna chill in the back, use some of that MP to sustain the party because he can get his MP back fairly easy with his awesome basic attack, right? And when the time comes, and it will, and everything's going to shit, we can use his time freeze. We can finish bosses off with that, all that good stuff. So for me, he's primarily here for that. So all of the support that my party is going to want is going to magically fall into this third spot, right? About the only support thing that I took for him would be his own support. It is skill salve. it is skill salve. And by the time you are ready to use his transformation, his time freeze, you should be able to activate skill salve for an extra 100% to your SCT recovery speed. I tested it. It worked for me so far. Other than that, this guy doesn't have anything really to support the party. I don't even think he has like what magic did I take? I know for a minute I played around with where is it? Not skill salve, glass record, right? Yeah, this guy does have glass record on him. That's coming off. And glass record is going to be going to the other hero that's in this party, right? Because, you know, why would I be glass recording? I can have like my support unit do that for me, right? So that leaves us with our third spot. And I kind of started going over some of the heroes and being like, what's really going to fit here? Some honorable mentions here. Some honorable mentions. First of all, King Bradley. Why isn't King Bradley in the party? Well, let's talk about that. King Bradley is a crazy Mothk. We love him. He also got shafted so hard. King Bradley was the last hero that came out before Last Cloudia was like, oh, guess what? Level 110 isn't the level cap anymore. It's now 120. And Bradley's like, cool, I got to shine for a whole 2 weeks. Now I get to wait on my 6-star enhancement that's like never coming. And my next awakening that's never coming. So, yeah, this dude is crazy OP. But when you start comparing him to other heroes that are now like level 120 and all that, yeah, the rest of the meta's caught up to him a little bit with those extra 10 levels, right? He has a charisma that's awesome for, let's see, let's just go over this real quick. All allies, dark damage 15%. All human-type allies, strength, defense, intelligence, mind 10%. So if you can get the 15% dark damage and you can also get the 10% to the stats, this is a hell of a charisma, right? And what's funny is this charisma, I think, will work for Shift Thouzer because he is a soldier. His trait also makes him count as a god type. So I haven't got a chance to test it, but I think he still would get the Fierce Charisma. But why would we do that? Thouzer's Charisma is better. And Thouzer's Charisma is going to scale up by how many other people in the party are doing dark damage. So we would be using Thouzer's Charisma like no matter what right now. So the Fierce Charisma, well, yeah, it's not going to be getting thrown. And this guy really has, no support at all. Right? Even, I think Thouzer's charisma, it strengthens double-handers more. Yeah. And this guy is a dual wielder. Ultimately, though, I don't think we would ever even get to that, right? Because if I chose this hero, this party would have no support. This party would have nobody, I just don't feel like it would be worth choosing this hero over Lilu, who can time freeze, right? I mean, this guy does great damage and all of that, but there's also, like, no flinch proof here. This guy's an awesome damager. And then when the boss is weak and he is sticking everybody to the wall, you switch characters over to somebody that has flinch proof and, can finish the boss off. So in this party, I feel like we already have multiple heroes, doing this. Lilu can kind of do this job, and he can do it with time freeze so that crowd control can't get in the way. And let's not joke ourselves here. This is the role that Thouzer is fulfilling in this party. So it would almost be like kind of like an overkill there, right? And then this team would have no support. So I started looking around, which, by the way, instead of bringing somebody with a charisma power like King Bradley that's not going to be doing anything at all, we do have some heroes here like Joker, and he has the Treacherous Intent debuff. So I thought about something like this, bringing a hero that has a nasty anima to throw. Matter of fact, like probably the Lord of Ruin. You could bring the Lord of Ruin if you want. He has a nasty anima to throw. Specifically, I thought about Joker because Treacherous Intent is so good to throw on like a mega boss, right? So there's that. But aside from that, we're not really going to get much support aside from the break, okay? King Keeley definitely makes the list here. Where is that crazy girl? Where is that crazy girl? Tinkeely is definitely on this list because she can stat debuff, and any debuff she throws on the enemies, your allies get a buff of that. So that is very cool that Tinkeely can do that. She can also Imperil Dark, right? She would be pretty great in this party, right? Because her abilities are dark, so they're going to let Thouzer truly stack up his, charisma ability. And she throws breaks, right? Let's see. She doesn't really have anything for traits that's going to help the whole party. Temptress style is specifically for her. And Fascinating Gaze, physical attack, damage from enemies minus 12%. Duration of buffs for units active skill plus 12%. That duration of buffs is going to help a little bit. But aside from that, what this girl really has going for her is you got to look into her stat tree. But as soon as she breaks the enemy of a stat, your team gets a buff of that. So if the enemy gets minus 10% strength, your ally gets plus 10% strength. So that's really nice. She's breaking the enemy down and building your team up at the same time. She also has a special... Crap, we'd actually have to go into her tree. She has a once per whatever debuff she can throw. Where is this thing? Yeah. When enemy strength, defense, intelligence, or mind is lowered, boost unit status by the same amount. This isn't for your whole team, it's just for her, but that's nice. But there is, I know there is some sort of, my goodness. Let me actually zoom in. I was just looking at this thing. There's her magic spells. Yeah, she's just going to be doing like some magic damage and stuff like that. Where is it? Is it Sweet Splash? No. Is it one of these bottom ones? She has like a once per quest debuff that she could throw on enemies, and it's going to give them either attack or intelligence minus 50%. So it's like a really nice debuff that she throws. But like that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. And she's going to be more of a dark magic caster who can also support, right, and do some stat shenanigans. So I was like, all right, that's cool. And then finally we come to 9S, and this is why I decided to pull this character out and start actually working on him a little bit more to actually finish him up. I think he would be great. I think he is going to be great in this party. First and foremost, he brings a little bit of not just status, but ailment, okay? His special, look at his abilities. First of all, S1 through S3 is all dark damage, so that's awesome for shift form Thouzer. And we have attack hacking. Powerful dark combo attack to an enemy. chance to inflict illness, blind, and silence. And he does come with a new Lamet, so he will increase your chance of getting illness, blind, or silence, or any of those. And then his special will probably status you. Okay? But he has a trait that goes along with all that stuff. So first of all, Type S, I think his traits are a lot more party-friendly than Tinkeely's. Trait S, if special gauge is 50% or lower, fill the gauge by 20%. So he's always going to be throwing that special. That's nice. When using special, apply a skill attack damage 25% buff to all allies. That's really why I like 9s right there. As soon as he drops his special, everybody, you do 25% more with your attack damage with your skills. And Thouzer is using skills to do damage. Lilu is using skills to do damage, whether he's in his time stop form or not, right? By the way, this isn't fully leveled up. It does go up to 30%. I still have to unlock some of it in the ability tree. So pretty much this guy drops his special, and my other heroes, my whole party, does 30% more skill and special damage. That's pretty cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Skill attack damage, not special, just skill damage, which is really what we're going for here. Support unit, Pod 153. This is pretty much just for him. Right. It removes a status down effect, so it kind of keeps him less statused over time. That just kind of supports him, right? But what the other thing that I really like is not only is he increasing everybody's skill damage by 25% or 30% when he's attack hacking, and you get the ailment on there. His, I believe, S1 or S2, it has a stat break built into it. Let's see. No, not that one. Scanning interface. When using skill 3, use 3% of MP to inflict physical attack damage minus 20% debuff on the target. So whatever big nasty boss you're fighting, hit him with that. They're doing less physical attack damage to you. Thouzer also has an ability, I think it's his S2, that's putting out a similar debuff to the enemy. And then we have scanning jamming. When using skill 1, chance to use 2% of your max MP to inflict 1 random strength, defense, intelligence, or mind, minus 25% debuff on target unit. So this is what I like about this guy, is he's just going to be doing this stuff in the background, right? He's going to be throwing S1s. He's going to be throwing S3s. It's not like Tinkeely where I'm going to be dropping spells. I'm going to have to interrupt whatever combos I'm doing, right? This guy's just going to fight in the back, and along the way, he's going to be throwing some debuffs on the enemies and making them do less damage. On top of that, we can unplug the intellect chip, and we can make him more defensive and tanky than Tinkeely, right? So I only have the chips plugged in that are giving me defense, mind. I'm taking a strength penalty. I'm taking intelligence penalty. That's plenty fine. Hit points plus 30% and all attribute resistance plus 10 for a little bit of SCT recovery speed. Okay. So that can make him a little more tanky, right? If you mess around with the chips, which is what I like about these heroes. That's just not something that Tinkeely can do, right? And of course, he's going to be getting Glass Record or whatever it's called, so he can throw an AoE heal and give everybody a little bit of SCT boost with that ability, right? So this is why I went with 9s. So, you have all that stuff built in, and you have the special that is, giving everybody 30% more to their skill damage. Really, the party is thriving off of skill damage, right? 9s also is a good candidate for an apple pie holder, something like that. So I'm going to try it out and see how it goes, and I'm sure many people can name off more powerful supports than 9s. Just remember, for this particular instance, they have to have dark attribute abilities in order to play into Thouzer's crazy ass charisma. So that's what I'm doing here. This is the party that I'm working on. I think it's going to work pretty well. Let me know if there's a hiccup in anything. Let me know what dark party you are working on with the release of Shift Thouzer. So yeah, guys, this is it. This is what I'm going to be playing. Got everything all set up, and to be honest, I didn't really get that much time to spend on 9s when he dropped, right? He wasn't really like the featured character, and I still think he's one of the cooler free characters that we got, even though I haven't had a chance to fully explore everything that he does. But to me, dropping that special of his, I think it all just works out so well, right? Because for Thouzer here, you want a little bit of time to pass, right? Because then you want him to get his full 100% bonus to his strength, and you want to have like your 10,000 monstrous strength before you start dumping your kit and doing all of that. Well, that gives 9s a little bit of time to shine, to throw some stat debuffs out there, throw some support, and potentially get his special to go off. And then everybody can do 30% more with their skill damage, right? And then if all that fails, we have Lilu here, Lilach, to freeze time and just do buttloads of damage like that. Like the only thing missing here is some special imp roll, right? Tenkili has an ability to lower dark resistance. She can also throw weaken, so there's definitely a point to her there. But I think this party can do just fine with just weaken. Specifically, if you have Lilu here equipped with the pistol that ignores attribute resistance, which mine does, the Trisla pistol. He is just made for that effing thing. So I think this party is going to be pretty solid. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're running. I'll talk at you soon. Later, everybody.